...2018 Planning Commission meeting, and for coming out on a beautiful spring day. Let's start with the roll call.
Chairman Berry.
Here.
Vice Chair LaTour. Here. Commissioner Bynum. Commissioner Cox. Here. Commissioner Finney. Here. Commissioner Hamilton. Here. Commissioner Haynes. Here. Commissioner Leahy. Commissioner May. Here. Commissioner Stebbins and Commissioner Thomas. You do have a quorum.
I would note the microphones are on red.
Sir.
How's everyone else? I'm green, but we're going to wait just a minute until we rectify our sound situation. Indulge us for a minute. Have I hit something?
Green.
Okay.
That was me that did that. Keep me away from the nuclear button. Okay. Approval of the minutes of the March 8th, 2018 meeting. Do I hear a motion?
I move we approve the minutes of March 18th meeting.
I'll second.
There's a motion to approve the minutes of the March 8th, 2018 meeting. It's been seconded. Those approve, raise your hand. Those who do not? Okay, minutes pass. Staff, would you like to read the consent agenda, please?
The consent agenda for the April 19th, 2018 meeting of the Little Rock Planning Commission consists of 2 items. We have 1 item on for consent deferral. That's item A, a revision of the River Market Design Overlay District standards. Staff is requesting deferral of this item to the May 31st meeting. We have 1 item on consent approval. Item number 1, file Z9314, Grant Group Home Special Use Permit located at 8104 Stanton Road. Staff recommends approval of the special use permit to allow a group home at 8104 Stanton Road subject to the following conditions. The first being a maximum of 5 handicapped residents will be allowed with 1 live-in house manager, and compliance with all requirements is found in section 3654E4 of the code. That concludes the consent agenda.
Great.
Mr. Chairman, I move for approval of the consent agenda, including all staff comments and conditions therein.
We have a motion to approve the consent agenda. Has been seconded.
Second.
Motion to approve the consent agenda has been made and seconded. Those approve, raise your hand. Those who do not? Okay, consent agenda passes. Before the staff begins to reading on regular item number 2, I just want to remind the applicant, be thinking about, we have 8 members up here, and you require 6 affirmative votes for your application to pass. As a standard practice, we give the option to the applicant when there's 8 or less that you may defer if you want. So having said that, go ahead and read the item, please.
Okay. Item number 2, file number Z9312, Agnew Multi-Sectional Modular Home Conditional Use Permit located at 2605 Brown Street. The applicant is Aaron D. Agnew Sr. Conditional use permit is requested to allow for placement of a multi-sectional modular home on this vacant R3 zoned half-acre site. The applicant is requesting approval of the conditional use permit to allow for the remodeling of 6 modules that had previously been joined together to make a non-residential building into a single-family residence. The property is located at the southwest corner of 26th and Brown Street. I'm sorry, the southeast corner of 26th and Brown Street. The Planning Commission previously reviewed an application for this same structure at the southwest corner of 26th and Alice Street. On January 25th, the Commission denied the conditional use permit to allow for placement of the home at 26th and Alice. The applicant is now proposing to place it on the property he owns directly to the west. The applicant proposes to arrange the 6 modules into a hollow square as indicated on the screen, with a courtyard in the center. The single-family residence will contain approximately 6,000 square feet. The exterior of the structure will be refinished with lap siding or stucco, brick, and stone. A new modern roof will be installed. Roofing materials will be either PVC with solar panels or asphalt shingles. An 8-foot-tall wrought iron fence with dry stacked stone columns is proposed to enclose the property. A 2-car garage, either attached or detached, will be located on the south side of the proposed home, with access off of Brown Street. A concrete paved driveway will accommodate an additional 4 vehicles if needed. The applicant did submit an architect's renderings of the proposed finished structure and has confirmed that those renderings represent the structure proposed under this conditional use permit application. The current right-of-way for both 26th and Brown Streets is a total of 30 feet, or rather 15 feet from the center line. The master street plan requires the dedication of an additional 10 feet of right-of-way on both streets. Based on the dimensions on the plan submitted by the applicant, the resulting building setbacks will be 4 feet plus or minus on the 26th Street perimeter and 15 feet on the Brown Street perimeter. A reduced rear yard setback of 11.9 to 22.1 feet is proposed, and the difference in the measurements is due to a portion of the previous alley having been abandoned located to the rear of the site. When reviewing the conditional use permit application, the Commission is to review the use's compatibility with the area and specific treatment of amenities provided to protect the integrity of the neighborhood. The Commission is to determine if the proposed use is compatible with and will not adversely affect other properties in the area where it's proposed to be located. Staff does not believe the specific structure as proposed is compatible with predominant uses in the area, and staff recommends denial of the application.
Thank you, staff. I noticed some folks came in the room while this is being read. If you have a card, please bring it up here so we can have you on the roster to speak when the time comes. Give me just a minute. Thank you. Okay, would the applicant like to approach the lectern, and please sure to state your name. And now you're welcome to hear what the other folks have to say. Certainly make your presentation now and reserve your time later.
Not too much to say. I was asked to, God bless you all, I was asked to originally do the conditional use permit on Brown Street, and I kept it on Alice. It was turned down. So now we're doing it on Brown. The only purpose is for me to build my home. I have attempted to make sure that I did everything that I was asked to do. I worked with an architect. I don't know if these architectural renderings were given, but I'd like to make sure that you get an opportunity to see it. Originally, when I called the president of the neighborhood association to talk to him, he let me know that it doesn't matter what I do, they're going to be in opposition against it anyway. So I already knew that there was going to be opposition. But again, this is only for my family home. We've acquired the property. We've gone through the process, and I'm just here to get the permission to build my family home. That's it.
Thank you. I do want to remind those who are speaking today, we have a total of 20 minutes allotted to those in opposition. So keep that in mind. When your time comes, if you heard something said that you're getting ready to say, and if you don't feel the need to repeat it, that will help expedite for those who do wish to speak. I was negligent in recognizing a former city director who's here with us today, Johnny Pugh. I want to welcome you today, and it's always good to see you. So with that, I'll start with, and Irma Hendricks, of course. Yeah. You don't want to get in trouble. I know. I better be careful. Sedelia Goulet?
Yes, sir. Good evening, board. I do not want modular homes in the Goodwill neighborhood today, tomorrow, or ever. I oppose it.
Okay. Sabrina Hood.
Good evening, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. I do not want mobile homes in my neighborhood. I've been there 19 years. There's not a mobile home nowhere in my neighborhood. I don't want it. Thank you.
Thank you. Willie Watson.
How you doing, sir, man? I've lived in this neighborhood for over, well, I haven't lived there, but I've owned property right there, right where those modular homes are. And I've lived there since 74. You know, I've owned the property since 74. And I know pretty much all the people that live in that area. And most of them have worked hard all their life to, you know, pay for their homes. And they've worked very hard to keep that particular street area, you know, pretty well upscale. I mean, to the best they can. By bringing these homes in, it's kind of throwing it off balance. Those modular homes, they really don't belong in that area. Now, I don't want to talk about the man's wishes because everybody have a dream and want to do something good. But I think you need to take the modular homes elsewhere, put them in a different location, the most fitted, because they just don't fit in that area. For the most people that are there, they're looking at it as a way that, you know, people that don't really care about property coming in and probably tear this man's property up. He's not looking at it in a sense of that. But anyway, to make a long story short, I oppose it, and I hope that he look elsewhere to put his property. I mean, to build these buildings. I'm not talking. I'm hoping he can get it done, but I don't want him to be able to put it in that area. It doesn't fit. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Hendricks.
I'm going to be short. Irma Hendricks, Ward 1. And I know that when I was here the last time, I did talk to the young man. I know him personally. But I want, and I've talked to him and I've talked to his minister to let him know that the staff is whom I support. And the staff is saying that this is not appropriate. I know I wouldn't want it in my neighborhood. So I'm asking that you deny this. Okay.
Thank you, Director Hendricks. Donald Mitchell. Okay, thank you. Willie McPherson.
Good evening, board members. I live at 2523 Allen's, right across from those modern homes, and it's getting more dangerous there. When the wind blows, it's waking you up at night. It seems like somebody's shooting out there. In the morning time, you catching people coming from the side of there. In the morning time, it's dangerous walking out your door in the morning time. And I'm just saying that it's just dangerous where the modular trailers is parked at. So I wish that he'll be able to move them or do something else with them. Thank you.
Thank you. Pam Johnson.
Good evening. I would like to say that the marginal homes are dangerous. I have a 3-year-old nephew that I take out every morning at 6 o'clock. And being that those marginal homes are there has caused dangerous problems. One of the van drivers was driving, and I was stepping out on the porch, and a man come from those marginal home in between, and he came out and he beat the window and almost knocked the van window out. So I had to run back in the house to call the police. They are dangerous. I truly oppose them. And they are, we can't see anything. And it look a mess. So I oppose.
Thank you. Hurston Simpson.
I oppose the trailers because I don't consider them to be module homes. Normally a module home can be set down on a slab or a foundation. These are on frames. You cannot take them off the frames because they were built as the frames for support. We haven't seen any evidence of how they're going to set them up, what type of foundation. And like everybody else has said, I just don't think they fit with the neighborhood. Thank you.
Stephanie Paxton.
Good afternoon. I'm Stephanie Paxton. I've lived at 2514 Booker Street all my life. I was born and raised there, and I came back. I've never seen anything like this, and I oppose it.
Clayton Williams. Okay. Tanya Berry Redden.
I really don't have anything else to say. Everything has already been said.
Okay. That completes the roster. Applicant, would you like to approach the lectern and say anything else? Okay. Commissioners, questions, comments?
It's just a question. Are these modular or mobile homes that he's proposing?
They are modules which previously were joined together to make a classroom building. They are not manufactured homes, which are specifically defined by the federal government, but they are, in fact, modules that the applicant proposes to join together to create his single-family home.
Are they on wheels and frames, or are they?
They're currently on wheels and on a steel frame, but if the applicant were approved, he would remove the towing apparatus and the wheels, do a proper foundation as he put the structures together.
Other commissioners? That's okay. I think we're ready to vote in a minute. Yes, ma'am.
They're leaning, and there's already a busted window on one of those, I'm going to call them trailers because they're not a modular home to me because they haven't been completed to be up to a modular home. So I just wanted to let you all know that too. Somebody's been coming by, I don't know who, but we got a window already busted, so that only makes matters worse.
Thank you. Okay. Any other commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, I move for approval of item 2, including all staff comments and conditions, except for the recommendation of denial.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the application. Do I hear a second for that? Okay. So I'm going to say this is a motion for the application, that if you raise your hand and you're for it, It's been seconded. Those for the application, raise your hand. Those opposed, raise your hand. Application is denied. Okay, we here for citizens communication. Before we adjourn, anyone like to say anything? Staff, anything for the good of the order? If not, we will reconvene May 17th. Thank you.
Thank you, board.